In this exercise, you'll monitor Spark application stages using the Web UI and using the REST API. So you'll need to launch a Spark application, ideally something like a continuous application with streaming so that you can monitor something that's active. Now you can pause the video and perform the exercise, and when you've completed it, resume the video and see what I did for an example. So let's have a look at my example. First, I am going to open up a terminal window that will generate some event time data so that we can read into our streaming application. So the contents of the stream is being output to the window here. We have a timestamp and some integer value, a random value from 0 to 100. I have a process in another window that's going to do a Spark submit on this windowed sum, which reads the data in and does a sum in a particular time window and outputs the results. So we're not going to worry too much about the code or too much what's going on in the internals of these Spark applications. We're just going to monitor it using the Web UI and the REST API. So here it's kicked off, and we'll leave that run in the background so that we can focus on our example. Now I'm going to go to the Web UI first. So we're going to load up localhost 4040. So this is where the address and the port of our web application. So here we're on the jobs page. You can see we have an active job running. And what we want to check are the stages. So we go to the stages tab and we can see the stages here. So we have got one active stage with a particular stage ID, a description, it was when it was submitted, the duration, and the tasks, the succeeded versus the total. And I can click and expand the details and see where that's coming from. So that's looking at the stages from the Web UI. Now, if we want to do the same thing by querying the REST API, well, we can do that from the command line. And for this, I'm going to use curl. So we can curl our web application. So we'll curl on localhost, which will fetch the URL, so 4040. But we're not trying to fetch the main web page. We want to fetch the API, the REST API. So that's under /API/v1/applications. So before we query the stages, we need to query the applications to get the application ID. So we look at the top, we have an ID, which we copy, and then we bring up curl again, and after applications, we put a slash, and we paste in the application ID. So it should be local. Let's make sure that that's right. Local, the same ID as we have here, so it was pasted in just fine. And then we do a slash stages. And this will get all of the stage information, the entire thing. So we scroll up. So all the information shown here in the Web UI with all the different stages is the exact same information that shows up here in the terminal window that I've called using curl against our API v1 applications, the app ID /stages. And that concludes this exercise on monitoring Spark applications through the Web UI and the REST API.